Yes, I guess a lot of us are apt to forget it sometimes.
Forget what?
That the story behind our leadership through the years, our continued leadership, is actually the story of Sheaffer quality. You remember how, at the time we entered the war, we held a 40% preference rating? Think of it. With over 50 pen manufacturers to choose from, 4 out of every 10 pen buyers selected Sheaffer. There's only one fundamental reason for this: the quality of the product. Quality, right to the point. It's the quality built into every single pen that makes Sheaffer leadership. And I guess no part of the pen is a better example of our high standards of quality than the Triumph nib. The making of this nib, well, to me, it's a quality story that practically speaks for itself. It's the story of the finest of raw materials, gold being shaped by skilled hands, the creation of an ideal, right to the point. That's how leadership is made. You know, sometimes I've wondered just where our quality does begin. Maybe it is back in the radite department. Maybe our leadership begins... Well, take this clip for the new Lifetime Triumph, for instance. Before its design and mechanism were accepted, we had to know how well it would work. How long would it last? Would it work easily? Would it hold a pen securely? What effect would it have on the fabric of a man's suit? So for some, the quality that brought leadership has its beginning in our laboratories, where many questions are answered. Yes, the laboratory is the quality proving ground for all new materials, all new designs. And here, additional checks and double checks are constantly being made on samples of pens right off the production lines, checks made on mechanical writing machines and by hand. Part of the secret of our continued leadership must certainly be in its laboratories. Part of the secret must be in the service department operation, too. One-day service has always been its aim, even through the war years. Arrive in the morning, usually shipped back the evening of the same day. That's the way it is at Sheaffer's. Our pencils are built to the same fine standards with the same diligent care in the selection of materials, the same craftsmanship, the same progressive engineering and watch-like precision. This newly developed sleeve tip is the mark of the new Sheaffer pencil. It's more than streamlining, it's better writing. The conventional style pencil tip supports the lead at only one point of contact. This sharp line contact has a tendency to score the lead. In writing, the pencil naturally revolves slowly. When the lead is scored all the way around, it breaks off easily at the score mark. The new sleeve style pencil has a tip with a surface contact that supports the lead over a greater surface. This tip distributes finger pressure over a greater area, avoids scoring, reduces lead breakage. The new tip, plus the 39% smaller writing point afforded by fine line leads, gives true visibility. You see what you write when you write. A tip that will not roll or ride on a ruler. A better pencil for all kinds of work. It took many years to develop the tensile strength which made these thin leads practical. They'll write smoother, blacker, and longer. Lead need extend only a short distance. Therefore, chance of breakage is reduced. These thin leads will write as many carbon copies as there is strength in the writer's hand. Extravagant claims are sometimes made for the quick drying property of some writing fluids. Instantaneous drying depends upon excessively deep penetration. Scrip is quick drying, but scrip is a perfectly balanced writing fluid in which no one desirable property is achieved at the expense of another. Scrip is better for writing, better for the pen. The story of our continuing leadership is perhaps most effectively demonstrated in the new Lifetime Triumph pen. Here is a product utterly new, far ahead of anything in the field, and yet it employs many of the basic fundamentals that were engineered by us from the very beginning. For example, an exclusive engineering feature with us, the nib, the heart of the pen. The Lifetime Triumph retains the slightly turned up tip, gives a rocker feel to the pen, smooth, effortless writing in any position. A normal line when writing with the bottom of the nib, fine writing when the top of the nib is used. A custom-built nib to meet all writing needs. A casual study of signatures quickly shows the variety of writing styles and habits. Each writer demands a type of point to suit individual needs. We have a complete range of point styles. Truly a custom-built pen to suit individual needs. Here is something new, an exclusive engineering feature, the nib wraparound design. Wrapped around the outside of the feed, it gives extra strength to the barrel and spring and tension to the nib. The design of the new Lifetime Triumph nib makes possible the giant-size feed, the radial writing engine, with 19 large diameter fissures that control the flow of writing fluid under all pressure conditions. Obviously, no plastic sheath point could handle as large a feed because there simply isn't enough room. The gold sheath provides the room needed for a larger feed. When a pen is held in the hand, it becomes warm. As the pen gets warm, the air inside the pen also gets warm and begins to expand. As the air expands, it forces writing fluid out of the main reservoir. The warmer the air, the more writing fluid it forces out. The fissures in the feed absorb this writing fluid. When this happens to ordinary pens with few or no control fissures, well, a glob of writing fluid on the paper or clothing. Naturally, the pen with the largest safety reservoir, with more and better designed fissures, is the safest pen to use. What is true about changes in temperature is also true with changes of altitude. The higher the altitude, the more unequal is the pressure of the air inside the pen and out. At high altitude, held in this position, the fluid in the head of an ordinary pen would be forcibly expelled by the pressure of the air behind it in the pen. In the new Lifetime Triumph, a drain back permits the fluid to flow down from the head into the reservoir, and the expanding air can escape unhampered. In an airplane, a pen should always be opened in an upright position. Sheaffer is a good high-altitude safety pen. A positive, quick-acting plunger produces a force great enough to instantly flush out the entire reservoir, feed, and nib, expelling all dirt. The pen fills with the same force and speed. A new non-corrosive alloy in the plunger of the Triumph pen makes this shaft absolutely rigid. This means smoother, more positive travel. Here is something basically new in pens. It's an exclusive feature, the clip, a rigid arm of streamlined design with an inner steel spring construction taking all the tension, all the pressure. A clip that never weakens, never loses its gripping life. The exclusive spiral grooved grip, typical of our attention to details, assuring even more comfortable writing pleasure to Sheaffer users. Protective metal bands at the end of the cap give additional strength, protect it from possible damage. Metal thread bands on cap and barrel ensure positive tightness throughout the life of the pen. The appearance of the pen, streamlined along classic lines, a pen that never ages in appearance, always as new looking as tomorrow. The Sheaffer Triumph, a precision engineered pen. The desk set has a new type socket of exactly the same construction as the Triumph pocket pen cap. This keeps the point ready for instant writing. This pen also has the improved lifetime Triumph point and giant feed. Yes, Kent, I guess the story behind our continued leadership is the story of unmatched